we have heard so many stories today. Spreading one smile at a time, it's very difficult for me to smile at this point in time. I'm nervous. I don't know how these people manage to be so confident when they come on stage. I think the opportunities we are getting, I think kudos for all of that. So today what I thought is, we have seen so many success stories, we have heard so many success stories of people from middle class, people from very different kind of backgrounds and areas. So I thought today I'll tell you my story of how I went there. Not the successes, not the introduction that you just heard, a Forbes 30 under 30 and X and Y and Z. It's very easy, that you get everywhere. I'll tell you how I got there, the silly decisions that I made or had behind them. So a little bit about me. I come from a lower middle class family. I grew up in Kanpur, which is in Uttar Pradesh. My dad gave his entire 40 years of service to State Bank of India. So he retired a few years back, 2 to 3 years back. I remember he used to bring his salary around 10,000 rupees per month. He used to come home and we used to put them into envelopes. And we used to tag those envelopes, grocery money, laundry money, food. And that's how we used to manage. But somehow he was able to make the ends meet. He was able to put me into a very good school. I don't know how he did that. I think all our parents are superheroes somewhere. So he also managed that. We were really happy. And that's how I finished my schooling. And after that, I got a chance to get into an engineering college near my hometown, a very good engineering college. But I wanted to go to NIT Calicut, which is in Kerala. I wanted to go there for the reason that if I'm in Kerala, I'll be speaking English, I'll improve my English. That's what I told everyone, and they felt so silly. What a silly decision. You want to go all the way from Uttar Pradesh to Kerala, where no one is there, I don't even have anyone who could support me, just to improve in English. And I thought maybe I'll improve in English, it'll help me become smarter, maybe help me get a job, better jobs maybe. And that's the decision I took, and my parents supported me, my father supported me. And that's how I landed in NIT Calicut. I did really well. Academically, I became a gold medalist. I worked very, very hard. But things started going south. When placement started, despite being a gold medalist, I did not get placed in the first 2 months. I still have a notebook in my purse where I wrote all the 9 company names that rejected me in the interviews and the reason that they gave. And all these rejections somehow was taking away my confidence every single day. I think that became one of the darkest phases of my life, the rejections that I was facing. Okay, a gold medalist not being able to clear interviews. And that's when I started questioning, was it really a silly decision that I came all the way here and I am not able to find a job as well? And that's something that took me down. But I knew I had to do something, I have no choice. Finally, I was able to clear an interview, so I gave 6 rounds of interviews, got a job for 3 lakhs per annum, but I was not happy. I was not content, I expected more of me. Like every middle class family, I also wanted to be a kid who can support the family, earn financially, and be able to do well. But somehow that did not happen, and that's something that made me very, very worried. And that's when I decided I'll work very hard. I'll go back from here, maybe a little more successful than what I am. So what I did was, luckily, I started working very hard and I got a chance to interview for a company called DE Shaw. It's actually a hedge fund based out of Hyderabad. So there's this company, this is a hedge fund. It was coming for the first time, and it was called a dream company for a college, because this was coming to the campus for the first time, and it was paying the highest package ever, more than the Googles and the Yahoos of the world. And because of the hard work and what I could do, I was able to clear that. So I felt relieved that all is well that ends well. This is a photo of the ceremony where Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam came, and I was the gold medalist, and he gave that. And this is the first time also I was able to get my dad to travel, fly, and sit in the airplane for the first time in his life. And that was a life-changing moment for me. After that, I came to DE Shaw. After a couple of years, I wanted to change jobs, and I had an offer from the biggest investment bank globally, and they have their office in Mumbai. But I chose to go to Zynga instead, which is based out of Bangalore. And the reason I gave was, my girlfriend from DE Shaw, she had a better opportunity in Bangalore, and I wanted to be with her. Everyone said, how silly is it? You're leaving an investment bank to join a gaming company. And gaming 10 years back was not how common and famous it is today, especially in India. This was setting up office for the first time. And I was not sure, what if maybe they'll just close the office after 2 months? What will I do after that? There's no scope of gaming in India. But I decided I wanted to do that. I had my priorities very clear. I wanted to go to Bangalore. So I came down to Bangalore, joined Zynga. Things again went south. New place, new technology I was not able to adjust to. So I started blaming myself again. Was it a silly decision? It do look silly, right? A relationship over career. Coming from a middle-class family who had its dreams to actually pave a path to get out of it. But somehow this is what happened. It started going south. I was not able to adjust to the new surroundings, new people, new technology. But I knew I had to do something. So I started working very hard. I started doing whatever best I could do to learn that new technology. And finally, I was able to perform well. I was even selected as part of the team which was sent to US to build new games. And that's why, and I was able to get it back. And again, I sighed. Finally, all is well that ends well. Even in the visa interview, the interviewer asked me this. Why is your company sending you and not someone else? You just spent a few months in the company. They're sending you to US and not the other person. I told them I jokingly said, probably they realized the superstar in me very early. Right. So this is how it ended. So it looked very well, but I started behaving that decision when things were going south. And it did not end here. It also happened when I was in US, I came back again to India to join IIM Bangalore for my MBA. I still remember the entire interview panel of professors in IIM Bangalore. So after CAT, you have to clear interview round as well, right? So before you get to IIMs. So the professors who were there in the panel were interviewing me. And they all said, how silly of you to leave a company like Zynga and do your MBA. None of the companies in IIM pay more than what you're getting paid at Zynga. That too in US. That too for playing games. How cool is it? Why do you want to leave that and come all the way here? I did not know how to answer it. I still don't have an answer for it. But I said, my gut says I need to do this. So I decided to do it. I came back, I joined IIM Bangalore. But things really changed when I joined IIM Bangalore. I've always been a very good student, academically. I was a school topper, I was a gold medalist in computer science in college. But in IIM Bangalore, somehow, I was not even in the top 25% of the batch. And we all know when we hit such failures, you don't know how to come out of it. And that's what happened to me. I was not sure if this was the right step for my career. Did I take my career one step back? Leaving Zynga, both financially and also the place where I was, the kind of projects I was doing, was it a bad decision? And I started again feeling like I made a silly decision again in my life. So what I did was, there was no choice again. Started working really hard. Started wanting to make it work. And somehow, luckily, I got an opportunity to do internship in McKinsey. And I knew if I had to convert it, I have to work really very hard. And this is the hardest I ever worked in my life. I made sure I worked so hard that McKinsey converts this internship into a job offer. And that's what they did. I was finally able to convert that, and I got a chance to work with the likes of VVS Lakshman, cricketers, and so many other projects. And again, I said, all is well that ends well. But one thing I realized from all these instances was, why was I blaming the decision every time that things went south? I was feeling guilty. I even blamed my girlfriend when things were not going fine in Zynga, that I came here because of you. We all do that, right? Now I'm telling a story that I came because of her. That's a sacrifice I made. And that's exactly what we all do. And that's what I was doing. But what I realized is it was not the decisions that were silly. Every decision is neither right nor wrong. I think what was missing and I learned was I need to put my everything behind that decision to make it work. And that's the mindset I changed that day. And that's a changed mindset that I stayed with and used as my life mantra always. And after that, everything that came, for example, one of the other silly things I did was I left McKinsey within a year. I was one of the earliest person to leave the job at McKinsey, which is one of the very reputed jobs anyone gets after MBA. I left the company and I wanted to start YourDOST, a company in mental health. I had not even paid the education loan when I quit McKinsey. I had education loan on me. Everyone said it's so silly. And you're getting into a field you're not even from. I'm not from psychology field. But I was getting into a field which was not mine. not sure if it will work or not work. But this is when I had already changed my mindset. That I'll stay here, I'll stay with this decision, I'll make it work. If it doesn't work, it's fine, but I'll not blame the decision again. So that is what I did again. I worked really hard, I quit McKinsey, I started working on YourDOST, and we got a lot of recognition. People needed that help. And this was a time when even Deepika Padukone had not opened up about her depression story, and slowly things were becoming normal. This was much before that I quit and started this. We got a lot of recognition initially. We got recognized by the likes of Huffington Post as 7 ordinary Indians doing something extraordinary, Times of India. A lot of people started seeking help. But it did not remain the same. Things started going south. Every journey has their ups and downs. There was a day we were sitting, we had not even figured out a business model, how to make it work. It's good that people are reaching out, but we did not know how to make money to make it sustainable. Our funds also dried up. We were sitting one day really hopeless, only 3 months of cash left in the bank to sustain the company, and still not sure how will we make this work. And that's when something very different happened. A Facebook message from a user who had used YourDOST appeared. And he said, "You guys are saving lives." One of them was mine. I think this became the tipping point of YourDOST. This is the ray of hope we were looking for. This is the reason that told us why we started. This is the reason that told us why we need to be there, why we need to find a way to make it work. And that's when our entire team decided for the next 12 months, we'll just put our heads down. The entire team worked really very hard for the next 12 months and turned around the company. And I still remember it was January 2019, was the first month when we became profitable as a company. We turned around the company and became profitable. And today we are 3 years down, we have grown only stronger from there. We have been able to touch 20 lakh plus lives. We were able to save more than 10,000 plus lives. And impacted a lot more on the way. I still remember Richa, who is my other co-founder, also my wife, and also the girlfriend for whom I left and went to Bangalore. She is my other co-founder of YourDOST. So she was traveling a couple of months back. She was at the airport. She was carrying YourDOST bag. It had a YourDOST logo, so people could identify it's a company bag. A lady in the mid-30s ran up to her and asked, "Do you work at YourDOST?" Richa said yes. She very tightly hugged her and said, "You guys stood for me when my family also did not stand for me." And I think that emotion is something that we live for every day. Being there for people, the confidence, the lost motivation, the hope we are able to provide to people is something that keeps us going stronger than ever. And a lot of other accolades. There were Forbes 30 under 30, and one of the most important, the dream come true. We were the only company selected in the mental health field to present to Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. So we were also contribute to the policy recommendations, how to change mental health scene in India with our learnings, and a lot of those are getting implemented on insurance, budgets, etc. And these are the things that kept us going. So just a couple of things that I learned during this journey, which I want to leave with you. And this is my journey, right? Please do not generalize it. This is just, I wanted to give my journey, what goes behind that introduction, which doesn't carry these silly decisions that I have made in my life. And we all make silly decisions. I think the first thing that we need to be very sure of is that it's okay to be confused. This is the only thing you don't need to be confused about. It's okay if you're confused. It's okay if you're not figured out. Do not overthink there. I somehow feel this finding passion, I think it's too creative a term that people use. I think it's very, very overrated. You don't find your passion sitting in a room. Go for it, build something, break something, take that journey, and you discover passion in that journey. So it's okay to be confused. It's okay to not sit and just wait till you find your passion. Go get started, start doing things, and you'll find your passion on the way. And the third most important, be silly. Be silly because the world has too many overthinkers already. Take decisions, silly decisions, just own it up. Thank you. Thank you so much.